today we have here Jorge Cebrian. He currently works in HP, but he has been working in companies like Airbus, in Accenture. He has been managing different agile and different lean initiatives in all of those companies in business transformation, continuous improvement in Airbus. He also did manage the supply chain in Accenture for different companies, of course, as a consultant. And then within HP, he used to be the worldwide customer support, Lean Six Sigma, and quality culture manager. So we can say that you, Jorge, have quite a lot of experience when it comes to lean and lean deployment in different organizations and how things should be done better or worse. Did I miss anything? Anything else you want to add to all that list? I know
No,
right
no,
now
no.
you're with a really interesting project with Renew that you maybe want to promote a little bit.
No. Just to highlight maybe the prior to my lean and business transformation background was SAP background. I also did like more than 10 years, around 12 years on SAP consultancy. And then I pivot completely to business transformation and business excellence and continuous improvement. And then, as you mentioned, lately, my last, I would say, couple of years has been more around the circularity and circular economy and all around, let's say reusage and taking advantage of used equipment, basically.
Okay.
So that's my latest experience.
Helping the environment. That's always good.
Yeah.
So I always like to make this question because I bet that the plan when you were a kid was not to be an expert in Lean Six Sigma. So who was Jorge when he was like 10 or 15 years old? What he wanted to do?
I wanted to be an helicopter driver, pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my dream. I wanted to become a helicopter pilot.
Did you ever
Um,
manage or tried
no,
at
never,
least?
never. That never happened. Um, no, but very early in my very young, when I was around 15 years old, I already had some interest in the environment and the processes, both.
Okay.
So I was kind of leading a group of young people that were looking to improve operations in the environment, topic. So I had both interest, and I also had my father, who is an engineer. So I had,
Oh, okay. It's in
in
the blood, we could
yeah,
say.
he was a civil engineer, so I was very interested in processes and engineering, etc. Since very early. We're playing with the type of toys that a kid that likes engineering does. Lego and Meccano and all these type of things.
Yeah, I think many of us that come through engineers started doing something like that. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Mm.
So you have quite a lot of experience in different companies, and many of them are quite known for lean, at least, or for being very lean organizations. What are some of the learnings or some of the things that you saw, for example, in Airbus, that you don't see in other companies and that you really think that was the key on how things work in Airbus?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, in the automotive industry and as well in the aircraft industry, you cannot make mistakes. You need to ensure that what you deliver, it's 100% compliant and 100% secure and
Mhm.
safe. You cannot make mistakes. You are playing with the life of the people. And in that sense, in Airbus, we follow the lean, all the Toyota and the lean way of working and thinking, because at the end, lean, it's a philosophy, I would say. You have a lean mindset and a lean thinking. And actually, one of the books that, has all about lean is the lean thinking. And it's really a philosophy. And in Airbus, it was in the DNA of Airbus. And we applied lean very seriously. And actually, it was on the heart of our strategy and operations. It was actually the bonding between the two things, between the operations and the strategy. And how we did that was through a lean tool that it's called Hoshin Kanri planning. But that basically consists of ensuring an alignment. That the philosophy behind this Hoshin Kanri planning is ensuring that all the strategy at the highest level are cascaded down into the operations in a very aligned and let's say securing that everything that is happening in the shop floor, it's actually aligned with the strategy, and nothing that is happening in the shop floor, no operation is waste. Everything that is performed because it adds value from a strategy and customer point of view. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, this Hoshin Kanri planning consists that we first, and when I say we, I speak about the lean team. Okay, there was a lean organization that was cross Airbus, and in the different organizations or in the different functions, there was a president. There was the CEO, let's say, and then the different presidents of the different functions. And each of those organizations had their own lean organization. And we, the lean team, we met with the president of that function, and he described what were the strategic objectives, that needed to be reached, and in a vision that it was 1, 3, and 10 years. And then that vision, it was plotted in a matrix, in one of the axes of the matrix, that when it was cascaded to the next level, to the senior VP's level, the matrix was moving clockwise, and this let's say strategy of the president level was becoming the vision of the next level, and then the next level, the senior vice presidents needed to identify which activities need to be performed at their level, okay? And in the other axis of the matrix, you had the let's say the projects and initiatives that needed to be launched. And in the other axis, you had both the measurements that you needed to make and the teams that were responsible of that. Of course, I'm explaining it, like you don't get the full idea when I explain it like this. But at the end, the concept is a matrix that was the different axes of the matrix are moving clockwise. When you cascade it down to the next level, then from the senior vice presidents to the presidents, then to the directors, then to the senior managers, then to the managers, at all levels, this matrix was moving, and basically the strategy of the level above you was becoming the vision of your level, and then you cascade down. And then, as I was saying, you have in one of the axes, you had the activities that needed to be performed at a very high level. These activities were like, let's say, big programs and things like that, with maybe a span of 3 years. But when you come down and you make the cross between, okay, this is impacting this part of the axis of the previous level, you are ensuring the alignment of that. You also have all the activities that you need to perform and the measurements that you need to take.
Okay.
So basically, it's a little bit complex, but if you Google Hoshin Kanri, you will find great examples of it, and you can even find the matrix as such. Okay, it's a matrix that you move clockwise, but basically it ensures that everything that it's performed at all levels has a mirror and an impact in the upper level, and the planification and the planning comes from top down. Okay. So it's a top down planning, and everything that happens at the operational level has alignment with what is coming from the strategy at the highest level. So this was then translated, when you go into the lowest level, is translated into let's say operational panels that we call the visual management. The visual management is a panel that has 5
that would be on the production floor already?
It's in the production floor, but it's also we have visual panels at all levels. Actually, the senior VP also, they have their own visual panels. Everyone has their own visual panels. So The visual panels are panels that has like 5 different categories in Airbus at least. We call it SQCDPs. We had a memo rule for that in Spanish. Siempre queremos cervezas y después pinchitos. SQCDP. So
Okay.
S for safety, Q for quality, C for cost, D for delivery, and P for people.
Okay.
So you have these 5 categories, and at those categories you had at the different levels, okay, in each visual panel, you have the different measurements that you need to take, the different KPIs, and under that, each day, each morning, depending on the level, if it was very operational, it was every day. If it was a more managerial level, it was maybe once per week. Every morning, we have a stand-up meeting in front of the SQCDP. And you can do that also with remote teams, because if you had people, the different part of the world, we have the SQCDP digitally, and everyone was connected looking at the SQCDP panel, and we were checking where were we in the different KPIs. And depending on if we were aligned on the value, okay, and we were in green, okay, good. If we were, disaligning, if we were misaligned or missing the target, we look for the root cause of that, and we executed PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act plans, okay? PDCA for each target that was, for each KPI that was out of target. And if we saw a trend on the time that it was, even though with the PDCA, the action lists, etc., it was still out of target for a period of time with a negative trend, then we launch a Lean Six Sigma project, okay, in which we were trying to go deeper to understand, okay, the actions we are identifying are not tackling the root cause of the problem, so we need to stop and take the time to really investigate and understand what's happening.
Deeper.
Yeah. So once we did this, this was like the first planning. This was happening at the beginning of every year. Okay. This top down. So at the mid-year, more or less, we did a bottom-up alignment, meaning that we took the time to understand what was happening in the shop floor, okay, in the operations, and we were seeing if there were, arising other type of urgencies, other type of issues, things that needed the attention from the high management level to give visibility of, okay, we had planned this for the year or for the 3 years, etc., but we are identifying in the shop floor, because at the end, we have all the knowledge from the shop floor, and this was it was taken very seriously in Airbus, because the people in the shop floor are the ones that really understand and know what's going on. So we had this feedback loop at the mid of the year, more or less, depending on if it was something really urgent, we could speed it up. But basically, it was the mid of the year we did this bottom-up realignment, so to speak. Okay.
And would many things change out of that? Like with that bottom up, will you restructure the whole thing or just key points?
Normally we had things to add. It was the normal situation was that, yes, there were some tweaks here and there. I wouldn't say that the essence of the full planning changed. No, because the essence and the spirit of what was originally planned was kept. But it's true that normally there were things that maybe were not planned at the very beginning that were important to have the visibility at the highest level of what was happening and going on. And at the beginning, there was there wasn't that thought of importance. And I'm thinking of cases. Well, no, I shouldn't mention specific cases, but I'm thinking on specific cases that comes to my mind that were not originally planned, but were critical to keep in mind at the highest level, to keep an eye on it.
Okay. Okay, interesting. I guess those are things like the piece that we thought to go here, it didn't fit, or other more critical stuff.
Basically, for even though I don't disclose what was
Don't share
specifically,
the specifics,
but I
an
can
idea.
tell you that in all cases, the ones that were, let's say, identified as a priority to give visibility at the highest level were because it was having an impact on the customer.
Okay.
When there was an impact in the customer, the customer was impacted in any way, that's something that needed to be escalated.
Okay, so yeah,
So
customer was in the middle of everything, no? It was
yeah,
a priority.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Customer
how it
is
should be.
always yeah.
Okay. So that's your journey in Airbus, but you after that have gone to different organizations. You were in Accenture, which I guess you worked for different clients there. You were also in HP. You're still in HP. What are some of the learnings in those other organizations? Maybe Airbus was more focused on Lean. Are the other organizations maybe more focused on Six Sigma or in other type of philosophies?
Yes, well, Accenture, I would say that was very much focused. I was working in Accenture operations. Accenture operations is, it's the part of Accenture that it's the outsourcing branch of Accenture.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working for different clients. I can't disclose, but basically what we were doing as I was the Iberia Lean Six Sigma manager for Iberia, okay, and business automation. And basically what we were doing there was looking on the operations, the stabilized operations, and ensuring that we have stabilized operations. And the main focus in Accenture was to identify automation opportunities, basically.
Okay.
We were analyzing all the operations. As I said, they were outsourced operations from different clients, and they were operations that were, I would say, very, very stable, very mature. But of course, there was always room for both waste reduction, waste elimination, and automation. And basically, our journey was to map, all the processes, to remap all the processes, and identify out of those different processes where we had chance to remove waste, to make more, efficient the process, and ensure its effectiveness. Sometimes there is a misunderstanding between effectiveness and efficiency.
Yeah.
And I think it's an important, remark here, because you make a process efficient when you are using the less resources possible to get the outcome. Okay, so you are using your resources in an efficient way. We talk about effectiveness when you are hitting the target of what you expect as an outcome. So these are absolutely two different things. You can be very effective, but being very inefficient, because you are hitting the target, you are giving your outcome and the expected output, but using resources in a very bad way. So we were looking for both efficiency and effectiveness in Accenture. It was like the core thing, to be efficient by using the resources more effectively, and reducing redundant operations and waste, the 7 or 8 type of wastes that we have in Lean, and effective by ensuring that we were repeating the process and always hitting the target. It was a repeatable and reliable process. And basically, our main focus was to identify opportunities for automation. At the end, in any transformation and business continuous improvement journey, automation is there. RPA and artificial intelligence was there, because at the end, you always identify the type of activities that are, let's say, less added value, that are repeated on time, that someone is doing, that can be, copy, mimic. We always talk about that, mimicking, the operation by a robot. So we did a lot of RPA. Actually, as I said, it was embedded into my organization, all the RPA part. You know, after a year or so that I was in Accenture, there wasn't a split because we understood that RPA had its, let's say, its own entity as such.
Mhm.
It's true that I would say, I don't know, 70 or 80% of the work for RPA came from business transformations and continuous improvement. Basically, I would say more than business transformation, continuous improvement and business excellence. You know, the organization I led for Iberia. But there were also other RPA opportunities that were not coming from us, that some customers or some even operators of the processes were identifying themselves and didn't come from the business excellence team. They came from even the people in the shop floor or doing the operations that they identify. Okay, I think here is an RPA opportunity because I see that and it actually matched with a good opportunity. So we had a separate organization that was RPA, very linked with business excellence, but a different one. And then
Okay.
in HP,
Mhm.
what I liked a lot of HP, in HP, there is, I would say, a cultural change. No, I would say that in Airbus, it was already in the DNA, very embedded. Everyone in Airbus was working under the lean methodology and lean philosophy, I would say. It was, part of the way of working. And I wouldn't say that in HP is like that, but it's true that you need to go through the cultural transformation journey to go into that point. And the way that you do that, of course, is by training and providing to the people, to the employees, the knowledge of what Lean and Lean Six Sigma is. And there was a lot of focus, and I speak in past because I'm not there anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not sure.
change roles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it is now, but there was a lot of focus on providing this type of knowledge and trainings to the employees, to the employees that were either willing to acquire this knowledge or that their managers saw that they had the potential to be a good business transformation professional. So it was the manager proposed the person, the employee to become a green belt, yellow belt, black belt certified Lean Six Sigma person. So there was a lot of focus on this, and the very good thing is that all the certifications, and I was leading, that process of certification. I was the one, giving all the structure to this. Of course, we were relying on some professionals in the industry that provides wonderful content for this. But the good thing is that we have let's say, the theoretical part, and then there was always a project that was a real life project, and it was a problem that was identified in the company under the domain of work that the person was undergoing the certification, and they were looking for what was we always started, the starting point was always the following question: are we underperforming?
Mhm.
If we are underperforming and we are consistently looking that we are underperforming, there is a chance to have a Lean Six Sigma project. Okay, if we are not underperforming, if we are performing as we want, maybe there can be some improvement opportunities. But I wouldn't say that's the best focus, to put
Okay.
a Lean Six Sigma project. So the first question is: are we underperforming? And when I say underperforming, I mean that we are not hitting or providing the outcomes that the process expects to provide.
Okay.
Okay, it can be it doesn't need to be a quantitative measurement, but it also can be a quantitative measurement. But of course, we need to measure, and
Yeah.
and there are different tools, different tools. I'm not going to mention the tools. There are ways to try to convert these qualitative measurements into quantitative measurements, and give values to these, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end, you need to measure. And it was fantastic because we were going through the full journey of all the Lean Six Sigma tools, like when you go to the university and you're taking
Yeah.
your
The ideal
degree,
project, yeah, that you
yeah,
go
and
through all the steps.
engineering, well, you actually learn all about what you need to be, what you need to know to be an engineer. In Lean Six Sigma certifications, you go through the full tool set of tools that you need to know to be a Lean Six Sigma professional. So it was very good. I think it was a way to really provide the employees about the culture and what Lean Six Sigma is and how it can transform the business. And as well in Airbus, sorry, in HP, as in Accenture, more and more, and you've been part of this, Guillermo, more and more, all the Lean Six Sigma, let's say, environment or ecosystem was going each time more into the RPA and automations
Yeah.
opportunity. At the end, every time we were working more together and everything was leading at when we were identifying the improvement opportunities, maybe there were 60 or 70% of them that were around the operations. Sorry. But there were other 30 or 40% that were actually automation opportunities. So
Yeah.
that's in the when you really come up with all the actions and all the activities that you can transform, there are always some automation opportunities waiting there. And we were needing more and more every time, more and more automation professionals, and we're having lots of automation opportunities, and we have in HP we had a pipeline of automation opportunities
I
that
can remember. Yeah,
we couldn't even cope with them. There were
yeah.
so many that we were going through a process of prioritizing which were the ones that we were going to do first, because there were automation opportunities everywhere, and we didn't have enough people that could take care of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still a challenge in many companies, at least, with
Yeah.
some conversations I've been having around.
And,
So
and at the end, sorry, at the end, it's for me that this is the question that why should a company have in their core teams automation of professionals, which is not the core activity of a company. So for me, this is always something that needs to be subcontracted, because at the end, what will you do? Because at some point, that the ideal situation will be that
is that
at
you
the
don't
end,
need them anymore.
you don't need them anymore. So this type of this is the typical type of activity that should be subcontracted fully. You subcontract all the automation and RPA professionals that you need for maybe you have someone at the company that is overseeing everything, but you don't need to create a team. You don't need to in-house a full team of RPA experts. You need an RPA head of, let's say, person in the company for sure, but not the full team there.
Yeah. In your experience, because you probably know, you for sure have a lot of experience when it comes to RPA and automation. What are the things that are done wrong? I can think of many cases when we were in HP that people thought first of the automation instead of the process. What are some of your learnings, of your points that you see don't do this?
Yes, well, basically, the one that I see like more often is that people is trying to automate let's say, the 20% of the process that doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So if you do the Pareto 80-20, if 80% of the time your process goes smooth and well, etc., and you have a 20% going through the non-happy flow, let me say that way, the non-standard process, because it has like, no, this happens when this type of issues appears, blah, 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 very specific situations. But those are the ones that are giving you the headache. Those are the ones that are really putting you in a hurry and taking part of the resources um, to tackle this. But at the end, those are not the ones that are really giving the money or the customer experience or whatever. Those are the exceptions. And many times the people, since those are the more visible ones, those are the ones that they are trying to automate, when
Yeah.
it shouldn't be the other way around. Try to automate the ones that are going smooth, but that you have resources there and that you know them very well. They are step A, B, C, D, always happening, smoothly in a way that they can be repeated. And once that you have automated and you free, I don't know, 2, 3, 5, 10 FTEs, whatever, then you can focus on those 20% to see if they really need to be there, or you have to get rid of them, and you look the trade-off of what's the impact of not having that type of processes, or you streamline those one as well, okay, and with the people that, or the headcounts of the FTs that you have free from the automation, you can use them to streamline and look at that and improve that process. That's one very typical mistake. The other, or mistake, or situation that you are trying to automate, that it's not the best approach. The other one is
Yeah.
when you start interviewing the people for the automation opportunity, you discover that they thought they had a very repeatable process and a very, let's say, always similar process, but then you identify, or you find out that there are like 7 or 8 different processes, because there are, depending on the input, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, you see that you would need to make, okay, you can do an RPA, you can do a robot for that, but you would need to do 7 robots, or you can, maybe you can leverage one part of one common robot for the 7 different ones, but you need 7 different robots for a good portion of the processes. And then you need to really balance. Okay, does it make sense to have all those robots for that, and just leverage this little piece, tiny part of the process? So these type of things. So basically, you think you have a smooth and single process, but you don't. You have
Yeah.
multiple processes. That's another typical case. And another one for me, which is maybe not that frequent, but it also happens, is that you try to automate a process that doesn't exist. You want to create a new process because you are establishing a new, I don't know, whatever, a new function, or you are trying to build up something different, whatever. You are setting up a new process and you want to put an automation in that process. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but in a process that you haven't tested, that you haven't, that it's not operative, it's not in operations, and you really don't know how it goes, I would think that you would need to be, I don't know, kind of an Einstein, or I don't know what, to make sure that the process that you have designed will flow and go as you design it. The design of a process never matches the reality of a process. So you need to start operating the process, give it the time to establish and settle down and mature. And once that you have a mature and settled process, it's when you should look for automation.
Okay. Okay. Really insightful. So, for the sake of time, because we're running quite a lot of a long interview here, is there anything that you would like to share with someone that maybe it's starting in operational excellence? Some things that avoid doing this, focus on that 20% of things and forget about the rest. Any key learnings for those people that are starting?
Well, maybe I would say, depending on where you are in the organization, and what type of role and activity you do, um, don't fight against the full monster. but also don't let the monster eat you.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, keep your mindset. If you are business transformation and continuous improvement mindset person, uh, even if you don't realize, if you continue with this structure mindset, with this type of approach to the things you are in your professional environment, with the, you know, the colleagues that you work with, at whichever level you are going to inspire and you know, give the opportunity to others to ask you questions. How are you doing this? Why are you doing this like this? Because they see your approach and they want to learn from how you approach things. So don't try to change, you know, that this is when you are starting in this type of professions, maybe you want to change the world, right? You are very enthusiastic about it. Oh wow, this is amazing. Why every company is not, you know, working with this type
Yeah.
of mindset? And at the end you realize that the daily activity, you know, it's so frenetic that it's not that easy. But don't give up. Don't give up. Continue, you know, to be patient and keep your own way of approaching the problems and the situations with that structured mindset. And of course, I would recommend anyone to take the Lean Six Sigma certification. I think it arms you with the tools that helps you with any type of issues or challenges that you may face in your life.
Okay. Okay, then thank you very much, Jorge. You want that I leave your information if somebody wants to contact you, or that's fine. We'll leave it like this.
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
absolutely.
then I'll leave it in the description of the video and in the description of the audio for Spotify. And thank you very much. An awesome conversation and nice having you.
Thank you, Guillermo.
Bye.
Bye.